Koneswaram Temple of Trincomalee, Thirukonamalai Konesar Temple, the Temple of the Thousand Pillars, and Dakshina-Then Kailasam is a classical medieval Hindu temple complex in Trincomalee, a Hindu religious pilgrimage centre in eastern province Sri Lanka. It is one the Pancha Ishwarams dedicated to Shiva, built significantly during the reign of the early Cholas and the Five Dravidians of the Early Pandyan Kingdom atop Konesar Malai, a promontory overlooking Trincomalee District, Gokarna Bay and the Indian Ocean. Its Pallava, Chola, Pandyan and Jaffna design reflect a continual Tamil Saivite influence in the Vannimai region from the classical period. The monument contains its main shrine to Shiva in the form Kona-Eiswara, shortened to Konesar, and is a major place for Hindu pilgrimage. Labeled the Rome of the Gentiles, Pagans of the Orient, connected at the mouth of the Mahapavili Ganga River to the footprint of Shiva at Early Pandyan Malai at the river's source. The temple symbolically crowns the flow of the Ganges River from Shiva's head of Mount Kailash to his feet. Developed from 205 BC, the original Kovil combined key features to form its basic Dravidian temple plan, such as its thousand-pillared hall, Ayyaram Kal Mandapam, and the Jagati expanded by King Alara Manunidi Colin, regarded as the greatest building of its age for its architecture. Elaborate sculptural bas-relief ornamentation adorned a black granite megalith, while its multiple gold-plated gopuram towers were expanded in the medieval period. One of three major Hindu shrines on the promontory with a colossal gopuram tower, it stood distinctly on the cape's highest eminence. The journey for pilgrims in the town begins at the opening of Konesar Road and follows a path through courtyard shrines of the compound to the deities Bhadrakali, Ganesh, Vishnu, Thirumal, Surya, Ravana, Ambal Shakti, Murugan, and Shiva, who presides at the promontory's height. The annual Koneswaram Temple there Tiruvilla festival involves the Bhadrakali Temple of Trincomalee, the Pavanasam Theatre at the preserved Papanasukanai Holy Well, and the proximal back basi surrounding Konesar Malai. The complex was destroyed in colonial religious attacks between 1622 and 1624, and a fort was built at the site from its debris. A 1632 built temple located away from the city houses some of its original idols. Worldwide interest was renewed following the discovery of its underwater and land ruins, sculptures and Chola bronzes by archaeologists and Arthur C. Clarke. It has been preserved through restorations, most recently in the 1950s, granted ownership of villages in its fluorite to form the Trincomalee District. Trincomalee village is located on the Cape Isthmus within the compounds. The modern temple has been a source of conflict between the majority Sinhalese and minority Tamils due to its position in a geostrategically important area. Revenue from the temple provides services and food to local residents. Koneswaram has many strong historical associations. The shrine is described in the Vayu Purana, the Konesar Kalvatu and Tevaram hymns by Sambandar and Sundara as a Padal Petra Stalam, along with its west coast counterpart Koneswaram Temple, Mana. It is the birthplace of Patanjali, the compiler of the Yoga Sutras, and was praised for its tradition by Arunagirinathar upon his visit. The Dakshina Kailashi Puranam and Vannimai works note it as Dakshina-Then Kailasam for its longitudinal position and preeminence. It lies directly east of Thirukonamalai West Coast Hindu port town. While it is the easternmost shrine of the five ancient Ishwarams of Shiva on the island, mentioned as a widely popular Bay temple of the island in the Mahabharata, Ramayana and Yalpana Vaipavamulai, the Mattachala Pramanmiyam confirms its sacred status for all Hindus. Karchiyapa Savakarayas Kanda Puranam compares the temple to the Lichadambaran temple and Mount Kailash in Saivite esteem. Konesar Malai may have been the site where yoga originated. Some scholars have suggested that the worship of the almighty god Eiswara on the promontory is the most ancient form of worship existing. Etymology: Kona-Eiswara and Trincomalee. In the Tamil language, temples are known as kovils, thus the temple complex is known locally as Koneswaram Kovil, the abode of Kona-Eiswara. The presiding Shiva deity's names are Koneswaram, Kona-Natha, and the goddess consort is called Madhumaya. It later earned the title Thirukonamalai Kovil. The origin of the term Kona lies in the Old Tamil word for the terms lord, king, or chief, which allude to the deity that presides here. This term appears in several Tamili inscriptions of the 6th century BCE, 2nd century CE. Trincomalee, the coastal peninsula town where Koneswaram is located, is an anglicized form of the Old Tamil word Thirukonamalai, meaning Lord of the Sacred Hill. Its earliest reference in this form found in the Tevaram of the 7th century by Sampanda. Thiru is a generally used epithet denoting a sacred temple site, while Malai means mountain or hill. Middle Tamil manuscripts and inscriptions mention the monumental compound shrine as the Thirukonamalai Konesar Kovil. Kona has other meanings in Old Tamil such as peak, while another origin for the term Koneswaram could come from the Tamil term Kuna. Therefore, other translators suggest definitions of Trincomalee such as sacred angular peaked hill, sacred eastern hill, or three-peaked hill. Greek writer Strabo, quoting Eratosthenes and 1 Zacratus, notes the island's proximity to the southernmost regions of India, next to the country of the Koneakoi people, found south up to a coastal promontory on an eastern limit, and describes the island as extending towards Ethiopia and being home to elephants. The temple was constructed atop Swami Rock, also called Swami Malai Konamalai, a cliff on the peninsula that drops 400 feet directly into the sea. Gokarna Bay and Bhadrakali Koneswaram Temple. Trincomalee. The Trincomalee Harbour, a circular natural harbour which the temple crowns towards the north, is referred to as Kokanamo, Lord's Cheek, alluding to the cheek shape of Shiva's bull Nandi. The Sanskrit equivalent of the port town's harbour bay is Gokarna, meaning cow's ear or Gokarna Patana, and the deity's name Gokarna-Swara or Gopnatha in Sanskrit. Pathmanathan offers the etymological link Thirugokarna-Malai Thirukonamalai based on this connection. The ethnographer Megasthenes, writing in his Indica from 350 to 290 BCE, describes the island as being divided by a long river, productive of a large number of golden pearls in one half, and that the inhabitants of this country are called Palagoni, meaning Old Goni in Tamil and Greek, who Pliny adds worshipped Hercules and Dionysus like the Pandyans of Tamil. The Vayu Purana, written in 300 CE, specifically mentions the tallest mountain peak of the Great Gold and Silver-rich mountain range Malaya on the island, and that to the east of this island at the shore of the sea lies a great Shiva temple in a holy place called Gokarna. Gokarna is also a place name in Karnataka, India, Kalinga, Tamil Nadu and Nepal, all associated with ancient Shiva temples and some with Ravana of the Ramayana. The former temple in Karnataka, the Mahabaleshwar temple, also earning praise in the Tevaram. A major shrine to the deity Bhadrakali exists within the Mahabaleshwar temple complex, and similarly the Bhadrakali Amman temple of Trincomalee, dedicated to the same deity and significantly expanded by Rajendra Chola I, stands on Konesar Road before the entrance to Swami Rock. Kailash of the south heralded as Dakshina-Kailasam, then Kailasam, because it lies on exactly the same longitude as the Tibetan mountain Mount Kailash. Koneswaram's early black granite rock-cut architectural style shared similarities to Kailasam and Atha temples of the subcontinent. Its traditional history and legends were compiled into the Sanskrit treatises Dakshina-Kailasha Puranam, Sthala Puranam of Koneswaram, written in 1380 by Jayavira Singhayarian, and the Dakshina-Kailasha Manmyam, 3 chapters of the Skanda Puranam of unknown antiquity, manuscripts of which have been discovered and dated for the 5th–7th century. It was in the Puranas that the shrine first found reference as Kona-Eiswara Pawasha, motivating Kalakittan Chola, who learnt of its sanctity, to sail to Trincomalee and develop the temple. The compiler of the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali's place of birth at the temple corroborates Tirumala's Tirumandaram, which describes him as hailing from then Kailasam, and his self-description as a Gonadiya from Gonada, a country in the southern and eastern division of the Indian continent. Both men were ardent disciples of Nandi. Patanjali famously visited the Nataraja temple, Chidambaram, where he wrote the Sharana Shrangarahita Stotram on Nataraja. Matsya and Shakti Koneswaram temples, Trincomalee, in Kandapuranam, the epic authored by Karchiyappa Savakaraya. Koneswaram is venerated as one of the 3 foremost Shiva abodes in the world, alongside the large Chidambaram temple and Mount Kailash. The Vishnu Thirumal shrine of the Koneswaram complex, repaired by Kalakittan Chola, was referred to as the Thirukonamalai Maxaswaram Kovil in some Middle Tamil inscriptions, such as the Nilaveli inscription of the 10th century, a Tamil rendering of the Sanskrit Matsya-Iswara. In fact, Matsya is the fish incarnation of Vishnu, and this shrine's significance, along with that of the 3rd pagoda of the promontory to the goddess, is expounded further in the Dakshina-Kailasha Puranam and the Thirukonamalai Puranam. The temples Ayiram Kal Mandapam earned it the title Pagoda of Trincomalee, Temple of 1,000 Columns among Europeans. The rocky promontory is dedicated to Shiva in his ancient form of Kona-Eiswara, and is a major center of pilgrimage today. The worship of Iswara is noted to have been the original worship of the island. Charles Pridham, Jonathan Forbes and George Turnor state that it is probable there is no more ancient form of worship existing than that of Iswara upon his sacred promontory.